Hi there, my name is Carrie, aka Crypto Carrie. I'm going to try to explain to you what Bitcoin is, but don't worry if you don't get it right away. Few people do. Bitcoin and blockchain introduces a whole new paradigm shift. It's a whole new way of thinking, and it can take a little while to wrap your head around it. I know it sure did for me. So if you find this video helpful, please do subscribe to my channel and share it. And so in this video, I'm going to try to explain what Bitcoin is, what the blockchain is, why it's becoming so important to the world today. So the big question is, what is Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is digital money, and it's called cryptocurrency. So there are many types of cryptocurrency, just like there's many kinds of metals. The top two metals are gold and silver, and the top two cryptocurrencies are Bitcoin and Ethereum. So think of Bitcoin as a digital gold, because that's actually exactly what it is, and that's what people are now calling it, the new gold. You can't make rings or bracelets out of Bitcoin, of course, because it is digital, but however, it does function in many ways just like gold. So imagine, just like digital flowers would not be probably too appreciated by grandma, a young girl who receives digital flowers from her boyfriend, she's thrilled. He just sent her flowers. He must love her. So this generation grew up immersed in a digital world, and they perceive more value in digital gold than the actual physical commodity, as we'll see later. So let's take a look at the following ways that Bitcoin is just like gold, and hopefully that will make it a little bit more clear of why it's so valuable. Number one, you can dig for Bitcoin online using special computers called mining rigs, analogous to the old mining rigs that were used to find gold. This is called mining for Bitcoin, and if you own a mining rig, you are a Bitcoin miner. Part of the miner's job is to verify transactions that happen on the blockchain, which we'll get into a little bit later. But when your mining rig discovers Bitcoin, that Bitcoin is yours. It goes directly into your wallet, and you've found Bitcoin. So two, how else is Bitcoin like gold? Well, just like gold, you can buy or sell Bitcoin on exchanges, and there are hundreds of exchanges online with more opening every day. This is where the price is set through supply and demand, and billions of dollars worth of crypto are being traded every day now, every day around the world. So the number of people that are entering this new economy is actually growing daily as well. So for instance, if you wanted to buy some Bitcoin now, you would take out your credit card and you would go to an exchange and you would put in your purchase order. And when you're doing that, you would put in your wallet, and once your purchase is verified by the miners on the network, your crypto goes into your wallet account. And so every time Bitcoin moves, whether it be peer-to-peer or through an exchange, it's recorded on a ledger that's called the Bitcoin blockchain. So you can mine it, you can buy it as an exchange on an exchange, and three, it's just like a great investment, just like gold. So it holds a significant store of value. This means that people are buying it and sitting on it, hoping that it will go up in value. We've seen gold skyrocket over the last 60 years since it was taken off the gold standard. And Bitcoin too has gone from $0 only 10 years ago when it was invented to over $11,000 today. So it, as a store of value, Bitcoin has actually been the highest yielding asset the world has ever seen in history. So is there risk in gold in Bitcoin? Yes. Is there risk in gold? Yes. Is there risk in stocks and bonds, even the ones, they're government held, right? Yes. Any financial institution, any financial product, there is always risk. So the final way that I'd like to compare Bitcoin to gold is as a medium of exchange, to buy and sell, right? So for thousands of years, gold was used to buy and sell. It is bulky and it's hard to move, especially in bigger amounts, and it's hard to divide into smaller amounts, right? So eventually silver and gold coins were made, which made it much easier, but it was still hard to transport and carry, especially in bigger amounts, right? So paper money was introduced, and every dollar that somebody held was backed by a dollar's worth of gold. So if you had a $10 bill, you could go to the bank and get $10 worth of gold, or vice versa. There was an equal amount in fiat currency and gold in circulation, and every dollar was backed by a dollar worth of gold. So this was called again the gold standard. And when Nixon took the US dollar off the gold standard, giving the banks and the Federal Reserve power to print money at their discretion, it instantly started to devalue the dollar. And so now all those dollars that you work so hard to earn are going down and down and down in value. So as they print it, it just completely devalues it. So with Bitcoin though, like gold, you can buy anything. It is a currency. If I wanted to buy a $2 coffee, I could buy it with $2 worth of Bitcoin. There are now apps and debit cards that convert your crypto instantly, right at the point of sale, into your local fiat currency. So Bitcoin is literally becoming the new currency. It's not backed by banks. It can't be devalued on the holder, and more people are turning to Bitcoin as their choice of trade. We can see that there may no longer be a need for the dollar. So let's look at why Bitcoin is so important. It's so important for several reasons. First and foremost, it offers a viable, working alternative to the world's current corrupt system. It's a failing world financial system, and it may seem like the current system is working and that it will continue to work and that it's trustworthy. We may think that because it's the governments and the banks, right? But it's just not simply true. The world is too far in debt that we could never find a way out. Many people around the world are homeless and hungry, and it's politics and economic manipulation by the elite that continues to widen that gap between the rich and the poor. We're working 2 jobs, yet our debt far outweighs our assets, and the central authorities and those who control this are private individuals who are accountable to no one. They print money unchecked, continuing to cause it to go down in value, yet we must just blindly trust them, because what choice do we have, right? We need that third-party central authority or some kind of third party to verify transactions, right? But on this current system, in my opinion, we're living on borrowed time, and it's about to come crashing down like a house of cards. And the question is not if, the question is when. And most economists, anybody in money knows that now. So is your money safe sitting in a bank somewhere, or invested in the options that the banks, and financial institutions push on us? In my opinion, not at all. It's like trusting your keys to freedom in the hands of your slave master, right? And it's in their best interest to do whatever is necessary to keep you enslaved. So Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is the way to freedom. We're seeing it in third world countries around the world. Bitcoin, cryptocurrency saving the day. It will replace the current financial system, which is so corrupt, again, in my opinion. But we see it happening right now. So where was I? It gives us freedom from inflation, low fees because we don't have all those middleman fees, opportunities to earn money. There's so many great projects, which if you're interested in learning how you can actually earn between 6 and 12% on your crypto assets, then please reach out to me and I can show you some ways that you can really earn some great money on your assets. The banks could pay you a lot more than they do if you hold your money in a savings account, but why would they share it with you when they can just keep it, right? Which is what they do. So low fees, opportunities for high returns in trading and other projects. It's fraud-proof system. It's never been hacked. You control your own funds. Nobody could ever freeze it on you or take it from you. And it's private. And there's so many more great things about crypto. All transactions are recorded in encrypted form forever, can't be taken off, on a public ledger that is run by the entire network. It's called the blockchain. So when a transaction takes place, whether it be through a third party, the exchange, or if it's just peer-to-peer, it's recorded on the blockchain. And like I said, it can't be hacked into, can't be changed, can't be frozen. It is a network that is run and protected by the network. So I'm going to show you a 2-minute video right now that kind of explains that technology, the blockchain ledger, but I don't want you to get bogged down in the technical aspect of it. It's just a 2-minute video. I just want you to get kind of a little bit of an idea, because there is a bit of a learning curve here for sure, but you don't have to be a technical genius to use Bitcoin any more than you have to be a technical genius to use the internet. Okay, the important thing to understand here is that cryptocurrencies, blockchain offers a fantastic alternative to the current system. It's just so much better, and it's working and it's coming. So watch this video and then I'll be right back.
Money exists to facilitate trade. Through the centuries, trade has become incredibly complex. Everyone trades with everyone worldwide. Trade is recorded in bookkeeping, and this information is often isolated and closed to the public. For this reason, we use third parties and middlemen we trust to facilitate and approve our transactions. Think of governments, banks, accountants, notaries, and the paper money in your wallet. We call these trusted third parties. This brings us to the essence of Bitcoin. Bitcoin software enables a network of computers to maintain a collective bookkeeping via the internet. This bookkeeping is neither closed nor in control of one party. Rather, it is public and available in one digital ledger which is fully distributed across the network. We call this the blockchain. In the blockchain, all transactions are logged, including information on the time, date, participants, and amount of every single transaction. Each node in the network owns a full copy of the blockchain. On the basis of complicated, state-of-the-art mathematical principles, the transactions are verified by the so-called Bitcoin miners, who maintain the ledger. The mathematical principles also ensure that these nodes automatically and continuously agree about the current state of the ledger and every transaction in it. If anyone attempts to corrupt a transaction, the nodes will not arrive at a consensus, and hence will refuse to incorporate the transaction in the blockchain. So every transaction is public, and thousands of nodes unanimously agree that a transaction has occurred on date X at time Y. It's almost like there's a notary present at every transaction. This way, everyone has access to a shared single source of truth. This is why we can always trust the blockchain.
I'm going to share a couple clips right now on what some of the brightest and wealthiest people in the world are saying about crypto. And if you want to get some, please reach out to me, get your questions answered as well. I am a Bitcoin broker, and I would love to help you get started in this important industry. You don't want to miss this. The timing is now. So my name is Carrie Hull. Watch these couple clips and then please reach out to me. And if you've liked this video, please subscribe to my channel and share.
I think that the internet is going to be one of the major forces for reducing the role of government. The one thing that's missing, but that will soon be developed, is a reliable e-cash, a method whereby on the internet you can transfer funds from A to B without A knowing B or B knowing A.
You believe that Bitcoin is going to be the world's single currency, or you hope that it is going to be the world's single currency.
And I think we've seen massive value creation.
Blockchain got recognized because of Bitcoin. It was a fundamental technology for Bitcoin. What an incredible thing Bitcoin is. It's still here working after I don't know how many years it's been, and it hasn't need to be changed, and it's not owned or controlled by any company.
Well, so just let me tell you where I'm at with money right now because of Bitcoin. I've been a gold bug, like I said, since '72, and the way I see the world today with Bitcoin, is that there's three kinds of money. There's God's money, which is gold and silver, again, atomic number 79 and 47. Then there's government money called fiat money or currencies, which is the dollar, the euro, the yen, the peso. And the third type of money now is cyber money, which Bitcoin and Ethereum and those guys are the most famous. It's really about what's real. You know, is money fake or is it real? And I think, so the choice, when I talk to people, I said, what do you think will be here in 2040, approximately 22 years from now? Will gold still be here? Well, it's been here since eternity.
Well,
will the dollar be here?
Right.
I don't think so. And will blockchain be here? I think so. So that's really the way I look at the world of money and currencies, is what's going to be here in 22 years.
So back to the internet, I believe the internet will have a native currency.
Really?
It'll have a native currency, and I don't know if it's Bitcoin. I think it will, because just given all the tests it's been through and the principles behind it, how it was created, and you know, it was something that was born on the internet, that was developed on the internet, that was tested on the internet. It is of the internet.
Well, Bitcoin is exciting because it shows how cheap it can be. Bitcoin is better than currency in that you don't have to be physically in the same place. And of course, for large transactions, currency can get pretty inconvenient.
What excites you right now? What can you look at in the world today that you feel like, wow, that is a good idea, or that is really where the growth story is?
I think there are these pockets in biotech that I find like that. You know, the one other one that I've been looking at a lot more have been the cryptocurrencies, and while I'm skeptical of most of them, I do think people are a little bit are maybe underestimating Bitcoin. It's like a reserve form of money. It's like gold, and it's just a store of value. You don't actually need to use it to make payments. And it's been, you know, there's about $70 billion worth of Bitcoin in the world. There's $9 trillion worth of gold, and if Bitcoin ends up being the cyber equivalent of gold, you know, it has a great potential that's very underestimated. That's very underestimated. That's very underestimated.
Well, people question it, and I know there's been so much debate about Bitcoin, but they question it because what is it based on? I mean, you see that the dollar is based on, you know, the trust of the Treasury, the trust of the U.S. government. What is Bitcoin based on?
Well, the argument it's based on the security of the map, which tells you that it can never be diluted by a government. It can't be hacked, and it's a form of money that's absolutely that's secure in an absolute way. It's hard to mine. It's actually harder to mine than gold, and so in that sense, it's more constrained.
Because there's a finite amount that are going to be made.
Yeah.
Right. There's 21.9 million Bitcoins that are going to be made, and if enough people hold and don't sell, and enough people borrow to buy, just like we saw in the stock market. Because look. And so, yeah, so there's scarcity. So it's the point being scarcity sells.
Yes, right.
And there's no greater defined scarcity than Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Do you own any of the? Okay.
Yes.
Right now, it is believed that the total money supply of all fiat currencies around the world is somewhere around $80 trillion. Mm-hmm. If you consider M1, M2, M3, if you add them all up around the world. And I strongly believe that number is artificially diluted and artificially kept small, because essentially by continuously printing, governments are disincentivizing the world and disincentivizing investors and even average people to store too much money in currency.
And they're doing this because if I take $100 and I put it in my bank account, as they print money, that $100 loses purchasing power every single year.
For sure. I mean, every single day where the money creation occurs, see, it's interesting because the cost of creating that money for the government is near zero. All it takes is just a push of a button, right?
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, every single unit of fiat currency that gets created reduces the wealth of the fiat holder around the world. And Bitcoin is an unimaginably new phenomena where, for the first time, nobody can seize your wealth, not just directly like they did with gold in the 30s, but just like they do with stealth inflation in fiat, nobody can print more. And for the first time, you have this currency that you can have full, or at least very strong confidence that for the rest of your life, the percentage of the money supply of this entire system will always remain the same, which really is completely unprecedented, because even with gold, you don't have that. When all is said and done, Bitcoin will be the second or the third single biggest asset class, the single biggest asset in the world. Maybe real estate.
Here's the way I look at it. There is about $100 trillion worth of fiat currency out there.
Okay.
Okay. Fiat currency is poor currency. It's tied to political whims. It's tied to political parties. Bureaucrats control it. It's not really that good for you. And all of the new, best, brightest engineers are working on cryptocurrencies. Okay. And so my belief is that over some period of time, and I don't want to go into it in too great of depth, but over some period of time, the cryptocurrencies will eclipse the fiat currencies. So we're looking at about 1,000 times on what we've got now.